The most crucial part of letting go is also the first part of letting go, which is deciding. You have to decide that you truly want to let somebody go. This is like the number one reason why we fail, because we've left the door ajar. It's not fully closed and it's not fully open, it's just ajar. And when it's ajar, you know, the wind comes in, it blows a little bit, it goes here and there. No, we're not doing that, okay? When you decide that you're going to let someone go, you have to just do it. You have to close the door. Close the book entirely. And maybe, just maybe, down the line, yeah, they might come back around again, whether it's a job or an ex or a family member or whatever. If they do, we're going to be opening an entirely new book, okay? We're not picking up where we left off, okay? This book is closed. And you have to make that decision. And I'm not going to force you. You can switch up now, you can back out, you can exit this video, but you have to choose one. Or otherwise, the rest of these steps are just completely useless. I have to be honest with you. Let me ask you this question, okay, to help you decide. Imagine it's an ex or something, or a boyfriend that you have. You have to think to yourself, would I be happy living the rest of my life if this person never ever changed? Are you happy with what you'd have to put up with for the rest of your life? Because the thing is that people do change, but they rarely do. And if you've tried with someone, if you've been patient with someone, if you've worked with someone and they're not changing and you're being pushed to make this decision, you have to think to yourself, do I want to spend the rest of my life this way with this person acting like this? Do I want to spend the rest of my life in this job? Or do you want to move forward without the person, have temporary discomfort to open yourself up to a world full of opportunities and a world full of new people? It's one or the other. This leads into the next step, which is deciding why you want to let go of this thing or of this person. And honestly, it could be as big of a reason as they're abusing me and they're horrible to me and they're nasty to me. Or it can literally be, I just don't align with them anymore and they're not really on my wavelength anymore and we just don't get on. Trust yourself. Really tune into your heart, into your intuition and think, is this serving me? And if it's not, babes, you gotta let it go. You gotta let it go, because you're only gonna feel more uncomfortable. Is this job, thing, place draining your energy? Are you having fun? Are you aligned? Are you on the same frequency? These are important questions to think about. You have to really get clear on your intention, because when we're letting this thing go, we're focusing on longevity. You don't want to just let it go for a month and then come back to it. And oftentimes, if you don't have a strong enough why, it's much easier to go back on our word, and I don't want that for you. Drink your water. The next step is acceptance. There's a lot of things to kind of accept. You have to accept that you've made the decision, that it's time to go. You have to accept that in the future, you might feel feelings of regret. You have to accept that you might wish that you could have gone back. You have to accept that maybe there's a possibility that in 1 month down the line, they did change, or the work environment was better and maybe you made the wrong decision. 9 times out of 10, you probably did not make the wrong decision, but you have to accept that that's a possibility. Because I think sometimes we kind of get caught up in our mind and we're like, oh shit, did I make the right decision? Oh, what if that person did actually change down the line? And that's what kind of gets us, This is so you can live with the decision, This is so you can move forward confidently and know that you can live with yourself if you did make a mistake. And say if you did, I want you to know that you made the best decision with what you had at that time. And following your gut, following your intuition, you really can do no wrong. You also have to accept that you might disappoint or piss off that person. They might be fucking pissed that you let them go. They might not feel the same way as you. They might be totally confused. They might have thought it was going really good, but you're like, no, it's not. You also have to accept that it's really uncomfortable to let people go. You have to be in the mindset of, this is not really going to be an easy thing. You have to accept that it's uncomfortable, because you're gonna maybe upset them. Maybe the conversation around why you're letting them go is uncomfortable. Maybe you have to have some harsh truths. Know that being uncomfortable will lead you to comfort. It will lead you to something better. I literally promise you this, because I've let go of fucking loads of people in my life. I really have. And a lot of the times I didn't want to do that. Pretty much most of the time I didn't want to do that, right? Because if you're attached to someone, you obviously have a reason why they're in your life. You don't want to let them go. But when you do, when you make the jump, it will eventually pay off. I want to explain to you how I kind of go about accepting. Like, it's an easy thing to say, oh, just accept it, but there are steps in how you actually do accept something, and a lot of it has to do with your emotions. What I want you to do is sit with the discomfort. That's how I accept. I sit with the uncomfortable feeling, envision the emotion in my body. Like, what does it look like? What shape it is? What color is it? And I try to observe it from a higher place instead of identifying with that pain, with that discomfort. I kind of observe it with curiosity, but I also let myself feel it. And I try to detach from the story of that emotion and just feel the emotion for what it is. I remind myself that I'm bigger than this emotion, this pain, this feeling, and then I can hold space for it. And the things with emotions, it's energy in motion, right? And a lot of the times, because we don't know how to process it, it gets stuck within us and we can't move on. And we feel those trapped emotions. So I'm telling you, if you start feeling your emotions, they will go and they will flow through you. And you have to be patient. Because sometimes when you're in the thick of it, it feels like it's never going to go. It feels like it's never ever going to disappear. But I'm telling you, it does. Say to yourself, look, I accept that you might have made the wrong decision. I accept that you're going to make this person uncomfortable. But that doesn't make you a bad person, and it doesn't make you wrong. And I still love you anyway. All right, the next one. So oftentimes, like, what we do to kind of validate ourselves about making the right decision on things is looking at the bad times. Like, maybe we make a list about all the bad things about this job or whatever. Like, we write down all the cons, and it helps us kind of process our emotions around it. And I'm not gonna lie, like, it's a good thing to do to kind of remind yourself why you're doing this in the first place. We have to recognize the bad times, but honestly, recognizing the good times could even be more important, because there would have been good times. There would. Like, everything has polarity. So there would have been good memories. There would have been fun times. There would have been laughs. There would have been times where you felt really happy. When we don't grieve the good times and we just kind of try and ignore them and skip over them, that's when it bites us in the arse, when we're having our sad boy hours at 3 a.m. and we're deep in life and we're looking back on our Snapchat memories and we look at all the good stuff. Then that feeling of seeing the good stuff will make you think, like, maybe it wasn't so bad, and maybe we can go back to where we were, and maybe we can have those good times again. But most times that's not true. So you have to think of the good times. You have to grieve the good times. You have to recognize the good times and know that it's still valid to let somebody go, even if there were so many good times. And usually the bad times overweigh the good times, but it is so important to recognize both. You can create more amazing good times with other people in other jobs. Your days of good times are not over. My gosh, there are like billions of people on this earth. You are gonna find good times with other people, I'm telling you. Next one, grieve the past and grieve the future. Letting go of someone, you're grieving someone. And I think sometimes we often think of grieving only as if we lose someone in a death. But grieving someone that is still alive, fucking hell, it's rough. It's not nice. You gotta grieve. You gotta let yourself feel what you feel. You gotta be angry if you're angry. You gotta cry. You gotta sit there and listen to Billie Eilish or whatever and be sad. You also need to grieve the future that you planned with this person. Maybe you're letting go of your dad and you thought he's going to walk me down the aisle one day. Maybe you grieve the family that you could have had with this partner. We love to look into the future, we love to plan, we love to fantasize, desire, imagine. That's what's so fun about life. And sometimes we have these plans that we set for the future and we don't realize that they're really attached to us, and we thought that was definitely going to happen. When we lose someone, when we let someone go, yes, we're grieving them, we're grieving the past, but we're grieving the future that we could have had with them. And that's gut-wrenching. Like, that's a killer. So you must be patient with yourself. Recognize that it's a really, really awful thing to go through, to let go of someone that you don't want to let go of. The next step is give yourself what they gave you. So obviously after you let someone go, you're going to feel this fucking gaping hole of what they offered you, and you're going to think, I can never feel this feeling again. Only that person could give that feeling to me. And that is an illusion. You can give yourself that love. You can give yourself that attention. You could write love letters to yourself and give yourself compliments every time you look in the mirror. You can give yourself affection, like you can touch and you can tickle your arm and you can give yourself hugs. It's not going to feel exactly the same, alright? But sometimes some things can feel even better. You know exactly what you want to hear. You know what you'd have wanted them to say in a love letter towards you. So do that shit for yourself. Give what they gave you. Have fun. And by fun, yeah, you can go drinks, have a night out, go on holiday. But you can stay at home and you can read books. Enjoy your time. If it was someone like a parental figure that you want to let go of, and you're missing maybe their guidance and their wisdom, you have so much wisdom inside that is so ready to access if you listen to yourself and you ask yourself and you listen to your heart. Guide yourself, protect yourself, provide for yourself, do all of those things that you wished and hoped for in that person but they could never give you. You can give so much to yourself. Fall in love with yourself. On a real one though, if you are going through this, like if you are letting somebody go that you don't want to, it is gut-wrenching. It is so hard. It's so hard, and don't let anybody tell you that it's not. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, get over him, you're better than this girl, and blah, blah, blah. Like, yes, that is true, but also it's not as easy as that. And maybe it will take longer than you anticipated. Maybe not. Alright, but you have to have patience with yourself. Grief is real and it's isolating and it's suffocating, and I do advise you to talk to people. With more isolation, it makes it worse. It makes you kind of go deeper into that hole. So talking to people, as much as you might not want to be vulnerable, honestly will help you so much. And I'm here to talk if you are going through this. I'll put my email somewhere and you can remain anonymous, but I want you to know that there's people that do care about you, and you will find other people in your life that you care about that will be better suited for you. And if you are making this decision, I'm so proud of you, because it's so important to grow. Like, if we're not growing out of people, places, things, we're not alive. We're not alive. You deserve to experience more. You deserve to have somebody in your life that values you the way you want to be valued, that respects you the way you want to be and need to be and deserve to be respected. You deserve that. If they can't give it to you, you can give it to you. You'll get to a point where you don't need other people. Other people are a bonus. But you are the blueprint, you are the foundation, you are the whole picture. You don't need an other half. You are the two halves, you are everything all put together. And sometimes you feel like, I'm going to miss this person forever. I'm literally going to miss them forever. And you might miss them forever. A part of you might miss them forever. But your soul is like a mosaic of people that you've met and that you've experienced. I miss people that I talked to like twice in high school because they were cool, they were funny, and I want to see what they're up to, but I can't. I've moved on now. But they're part of me. Like when I think of sailing boats, I think of my old best friend. When I think of eating Yorkshire puddings, I think of another friend. When I think of this colour, I think of another person. They're part of me. They may be gone, I might have let them go, but they are a really strong part of me. And they always will be a part of my soul. And I think that is so beautiful because we've learned to let them go. We've learned to go different places. But we've learned that we're always connected. We're always connected to everyone around us. And we can access that if we need to. At the end of the day, you might fluctuate. You might regret for a little bit. But you must remember your why. Why you did this for yourself. I believe in you. You can do this. You can make the decision. You can make the jump. You can make the cut. You've got this. I'm sending you so much love. And remember to drink your water, okay? And be kind to plants. This is my new plant, by the way. It's beautiful. Yeah.